Community Champion segment. This is my favorite segment every week because we celebrate what's going on in the community. And the way we celebrate it is by talking with people who walk the walk. They don't just talk the talk. And we all know in any sports world, there's a lot of people that talk a lot, but there aren't a lot of people that put the work in, that roll their sleeves up and do the work. And the young man that I have with us today certainly is one of those guys. And Community Champions is sponsored by Innovative Benefits. If it's time for you to review your company benefits, personal insurance plans, or investment strategies, talk to Randy Parrish and his team at Innovative Benefits. They will give you straightforward and honest advice with access to the best products in the industry. Trust the great folks at Innovative Benefits to do what's best for you, your family, and your business. To find out more, go to innovativebenefits.ca. Jacob Wojickci joins me in the studio right now. And I first saw Jacob at a high school basketball game. And what stood out to me was, number one, for a young high school guy at 6'4", 6'5", probably ran Jacob at that time about 275 to 280. He's a big, strong, physical, aggressive player. And he had a level of aggressiveness that you just don't see oftentimes in high school. He was always battling. And I thought that would be so much fun to coach and try to work with and help Jacob refine his skills as a basketball player. And Jacob kindly agreed to come over and play for me for the Concordia Thunder. And now Jacob, post-college career, is still heavily involved in the basketball community. And I welcome Jacob Wojickci into the studio today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Great to have you here. And of course, anybody that's watching on YouTube, you know who he resembles and he gets asked about all the time. So we won't go there. Jacob, talk about, you have got the physical, look of a football player. You obviously played football. You also played basketball. What was it that drew you to basketball? And I guess what were the reasons why you wanted to pursue that at a post-secondary level?
I think I played a lot of sports. I played soccer as well.
That must have been scary when you were bearing down the field.
I was in the net.
Oh, were you?
Most of the time, but I don't think I wasn't amazing. I was just a big guy, right?
Yep.
But once basketball kind of came into my life, and it was a little bit later, must have been 14 or 15. And it just kind of, I got the bug for it. And I just found myself waking up and just wanting to play. And everything else kind of fell by the wayside sports-wise eventually. I'm not sure why. I just love the game. Just fell in love with the game.
Well, and that love has continued after you played college basketball. I'm assuming you played some men's league, local recreational basketball.
Yep.
But where you've really thrown your heart and soul and put the time in is into your club program. So tell us about your club program.
Well, first off, the people over at Emmy Lazert, especially Thomas Houghton, they've been fantastic in giving me a place to play out that passion. But yeah, the club program, coaching really, that bug that I was saying to you about, kind of taking over, that coaching bug is even bigger.
So is what you're, and I hear this from a lot of former players, is that when they get into coaching, they almost enjoy it more than playing.
I do, 100%. Yeah.
Why is that?
I'm not sure. I think there's definitely some sort of reflective process in it. I find myself being a better player by coaching. It's almost like if you say you have to do it type thing.
You do it.
Even if I'm picking up and playing with the kids or I'm playing with friends or whatever, you just makes you better as a person and as a player too.
Okay, what's the name of your club?
OTB.
Okay, OTB, and you have a website?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
OTBAcademies.com.
Okay, OTBAcademies.com. What's your motivation for this? And I'll frame it just a little bit. There are a lot of clubs now. Lots of clubs. There is a wealth of opportunity and a variety of motivations on who is running the club, what parents and athletes are trying to take from their experience in playing for the clubs. What's Jacob Wojickci's motivation? What is your focus and what you want the athletes that play for you to experience?
We obviously want to give them a good quality basketball experience, but
and by that, do you mean teaching them fundamentals, skills, etc.?
Yeah, fundamental skills, and most importantly to me is conceptual basketball. I think there's way too much focus on on-ball skills, whereas the vast majority of playing is off-ball. And so much of the game now is just standing and watching one guy with the ball, and it's just. I mean, in the NBA it works for a reason. Everyone's so good, everyone's so long,
right?
Athletic, but
right.
The kids imitate that. You watch kids will, the kids play what they see.
Yeah, they mimic their heroes. That's for sure.
Yeah, but having someone that can actually play off the ball is so difficult for other teams to handle. So we really try to focus on, also still focus on the on ball stuff, but off ball, and there's a commitment to defense. Kind of an old school approach, but fun. Making sure that everything stays fun and engaging and community focused, and we want to make sure kids have a place to socialize, a place to be in person, something to love, a passion, all these kind of things. Our focus is not necessarily producing world beaters or anything like that. Like, we really just want to have a program that's affordable, engaging, and socially conscious.
So I'm a parent now, and Jacob Wojickci comes in, or I have the opportunity, I run into him, however it comes about. A friend tells me, you really should talk to this guy. What would you tell mom and dad what you're going to offer to their son and daughter? Now, do you coach boys and girls?
Yeah, we have boys and girls teams. I'm coaching 2 girls teams right now.
Okay. U15
and a U17 girls team. So
what would you tell them? Why should I play for Jacob Wojickci's club?
If you want an experience that's going to provide you those basketball skills we talked about, and you want to do so in a competitive environment, but you want individual growth to be the focus, and you want to be empowered to play the game, then come join us. We're not, winning is not the end all be all. It's about development.
But Jacob, I want you. All these other coaches are telling me they're going to put me into situations where my son or daughter are going to get a scholarship to go down to the U.S. You mean you're not promising me that?
I never will. It's honestly, I've seen lots of kids get sold down the river. The promises of the States is the allure of the States is always the big one here, and. I went down and I played in the States for a while after high school, and just in the AAU circuit, and it's the competition here is fantastic. It's an extremely high level. There's tons of places and schools to play at here. The allure is just like what is it for? There are kids that are well deserved to go down and play at a very high level, Div 2, Div 1, this kind of stuff, but. That's not the case for everybody. There's only so many spots, right? It's a zero-sum game. And to promise parents, to promise kids that is just, I think, very disingenuous. Disingenuous,
but also, I think, misleading about what you're going to carry forward from basketball into your life. What I'm hearing from you, Jacob, and I know you, and I know that character development, that personality development, that feeling safe, not just safe, because safe can also be misconstrued in a number of different ways, but feeling like you're part of something, that what you do matters. Talk about how important that is at the heart and soul of what you're doing in your club. Yeah,
we want the people involved, parents, kids, coaches, to like you said, to have something to carry forward, and it's there's something to do with the social fabric or social fiber of everything going on around us, like the interconnectivity that we can develop through basketball, like whatever medium we're using. But for me, it's basketball because that's what I love. But just trying to put that back out in the world, I think it's so important, especially in today's day and age.
And what I'm hearing you say, or let me rephrase that, is what you're saying, that you're trying to inject a counter experience that a lot of kids are facing every day through social media, through the hype, through you're trying to wedge into there a real life experience of skill development, of team camaraderie, of self-esteem, of positivity. Is that at the heart and soul of what you're doing?
Yeah, that's it. It's relatively simple.
Now, this is a big sacrifice, Jacob, for you and your family. I mean, you've got two children, two beautiful children. You're obviously your wife. I'm sure she's thrilled every day when you're gone a lot in pursuing your passion. But I mean, talk about the real. I use the term walking the walk. Talk about what it really involves when you walk the walk. When you're the head of an organization, you're responsible for not just kids, but families and coaches and schedules and travel. Talk about the time commitment that really involves.
Oh, it's all consuming. Like it's definitely a full-time thing, more than a full-time thing. But the truth is, the truth is I don't really have a choice. I'm just doing what I love, and it just kind of it flows out from that. Like there's no choice in the matter. I have to do what I have to do.
It's really, and it's not a word I like, but I think it's an apt description. There's a bit of an intoxication factor when you're involved, because you wake up and you think, how can I be better today? How can I make it a better experience for everybody today? Is that similar to yourself?
Yeah. I think I would if you would, I would talk about the two teams I'm coaching right now. I have multiple kids on these teams that have never played basketball before. A lot of these kids, they don't even know that club basketball exists, or spring league, this kind of stuff exists. Especially on our side of the city, there's a lot less development.
You're on the north side.
Yeah, on the north and northeast.
Yes.
And there's just a lot less exposure.
Right.
So a lot of them have never been to a tournament beyond a school tournament, this kind of stuff. And we're teaching stuff at a level that's would be taught at a much younger age elsewhere. And you watch these girls, and like the victories that we take out of it, like we lose games by 40, 50 points, and that's not what matters. What matters is you watch the individual victories, you watch how much encouragement and empowerment they get out of succeeding at little tasks and little things throughout the season. It's a practice or a game. You watch them develop concepts like spacing, and learning how to move off the ball, learning how to V-cut, just very basic stuff. And you watch them attach themselves to those victories and how they like pull themselves up and pull each other up. And it's just like how can you not want to be a part of something like that?
Well, and I think too, Jacob, the fact that you're doing this with kids that don't bring tremendous skills and all this ability, and they don't have all these people in their ears saying, oh, you got to come, you're the greatest, I'm going to, come play for me, I'm going to do all this for you, which 99% of the time isn't true. But what you're trying to do is reach people at the level. You're trying to meet them where they're at, and then help them become the best version of themselves in that space. Correct?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
What do you think the biggest challenge will be for youth basketball going forward, Jacob?
I mean, definitely fighting that, like finding a place between monetization and running a program that's socially conscious. It's definitely I want to make a living doing this, right? But finding that medium where things come out as fair or come out as something that the community would accept and be happy with. I think that's a huge hurdle for everybody. I think that's probably for all youth sports. But yeah, that's definitely a huge issue.
A final question. Like you said, this is not just your passion and your commitment. You're a missionary of sorts, but this is also a business of sorts as well. How do you find the balance? Because you're in an area socioeconomically where there are lots of challenges. How do you work with kids and families so that it can be affordable for them to be able to participate in your club?
Well, like we try to keep the fees as absolutely low as possible. We engage, we have coaches volunteering. So our coaches are just, incredible people to be out there and
they certainly are
helping out. And we try to mitigate all that. We try to help families with kid sport access. There's a lot of families that don't have English as a first language, so trying to help through all that, and helping kids in whatever way we can. If a kid can't pay, we try to help in whatever way possible. If a kid's engaged and doing whatever they can, we want to do the same. So.
Well, I mean, for me, you check all the boxes, Jacob.
Thank you.
But I'm not surprised at that because of the person you are. And it's an absolute pleasure today. And I do want to also give a shout out to someone you mentioned earlier, Thomas Houghton, over at Emily Lizard. You talk about another champion of trying to work with a community for all the right reasons to provide access for kids to be able to play affordably in a good, safe environment. Shout out to Thomas, and of course, to your brother Nathaniel. He runs this wonderful Sunday morning program for little ones, and by little ones, I mean 5 and under, that it's just anarchy and chasing butterflies. But it is a wonderful introduction to the positivity that sport can provide, where it's just about fun. But most importantly, Jacob, thank you so much for being here today. What is your website, please?
OTBAcademies.com.
OTBAcademies.com. Can people follow you on social media?
Yes, same handle everywhere.
Okay, so at OTB Academies?
Yep.
Okay. So, folks, I had Jeremy Pastorero on not too long ago, the WEBA program. Very similar in terms of the values that you espouse at OTB. And I know they're no strangers to you since you played at SFX. But there are some real gems in this marketplace where people aren't just out there trying to monetize and making promises that they can't keep. And I'm not trying to paint everybody with the same brush, but there's a lot of that. Jacob, you're in that category of truly being in this for the kids. It's easy to talk the talk. You walk the walk. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much.